Hi everybody, welcome into Children of Titan. I'm Redmagejr. Today we're going to be talking about building a deck for the RPG tournament coming up on May the 23rd for Dark Legacy, the card game Dark Legacy. So, more specifically, we're going to be talking about how I'm building my deck for my character, Samler Alskabert. Now, Samler is a darkness kind of character. He is an undead creature. Now, the trick with Samler is that he died when Kaiser was taking over Titan, when he was, putting his stake in and said, "Hey, guess what? You guys are underneath my control." So he died. Hope killed him, and then when he was dying on the battlefield, he was just a regular old average guy. When he was dying on the battlefield, he pleaded to Redmagejr to basically, put him back into life, that he wants to continue to serve the Kaiser, that he wants to be a member of the team, more or less, of Team Titan, to kind of take over and rule. He doesn't really want any responsibility or anything like that, because he's just a regular guy. He just kind of wants to, not be entirely dead. So what happens is, when he was alive, he was just like, he was this fixer. He, repaired relics and artifacts, and he crafted things for noblemen and for people that, needed something fixed. Oh, you need the wagon wheel fixed, or you need this fixed. He did a little bit of, sculpting, did a little bit of painting, did some blacksmith work, did some woodworking. So he's kind of a jack of all trades kind of a thing. So, now that he's been reincarnated, more or less, as this abomination, he travels the world of Titan and collects relics from the battlefields. He also does a little bit of spying and reconnaissance for Kaiser and Kaiser's armies. So anytime he hears whispers that there's going to be a battle at a city or whatever, he'll go to the city ahead of time. He'll entrench himself there in society as a beggar, because let's face it, he looks disgusting, and nobody really wants to be around him. So what better place for him to be than just kind of in the dregs and just hanging out doing nothing. And then from there, he'll figure out where everything is. He'll see how things are going, and then he'll let Kaiser's armies know, hey, look, these guys are over here, these guys are over there, these guys are doing this, and that kind of a thing. So he's basically a snitch. He's a bad guy, without being a bad guy. But what he basically will do after that is, after they're sieging the city and stuff like that, he just goes and just grave picks. Oh, there's some relics here, there's an artifact there, some armor, weapons, whatever. He'll pick it up, he'll throw it in a sack and just drag it with him. He's not very strong because he's dead, so he continues to rot. He just continues to be gross and smell bad and just be awful. But he will repair all this stuff and give it to the armies. So anytime he just happens to get in the middle of a fight because he's going from one place to another, he has whatever he has on him. So the cool thing about his decks that I've tried to do is that he constantly changes what's in them. So key things will always be the same. He's going to have a lot of creatures that he controls, because there will just be stuff that also goes on to a lot of battlefields. There's a lot of zombies, bats, and vampires and stuff like that. So a lot of undead creatures that'll just be kind of hanging out. Vultures especially, stuff that would feed off the dead. And as he goes through, he'll actually, all of the armor pieces or any of a lot of the enchantments or stuff, it's just because he's picked up somebody's, torso or arm or whatever, and, he might have lost his or whatever, so he'll just reattach it and sew it back on, and it just happened to have that enchantment attached to it. So that's kind of the story of Samler. So he's just this thing that moves from one place to another. So doing that, keeping all of that in mind, Samler is not supposed to win. Samler is just a guy or a thing. I keep calling him a guy. He's a thing that's just going to be there to kind of not really get in anybody's way, not really hurt anybody, but he just wants stuff. because he wants to give advantage to Kaiser's friends, or people that are that he feels that are in the best interest of Kaiser's interests. Even if they're very anti-Kaiser, but if they're battling a holy, like if it's a Wind battling a holy, even though Samler himself wouldn't really do much with Wind, with the Wind faction, he is going to help the Wind because he hates the holy. After Hope just murdered him, what else are you going to do? So that's how I'm going to design my deck. So we're going to be looking at, for his deck, lots of regeneration. We're going to be putting in, a couple of pieces of armor. You can only have 2 pieces of armor for it, and so I got to kind of be selective. But with Samler, I have an approved special ability that I have, because he is such a story-driven character. I get a 15 card sideboard, which if he's in a battle or whatever and he happens to win, or even if he loses and there's like a loser's bracket or whatever in the thing, if his armor is broken or something is broken, he can't use that again. He won't use it again unless he finds somebody else that's playing Darkness and has the same armor type, or if somebody else has the same armor type and they're defeated, then he will require that armor, because he'll just basically steal it from them and repair it and keep going, unless it's armor busted. So he's very, very aware of what's going on in the other battles. He's a little bit more concerned with what's going on everywhere else, and a little less concerned with what he's doing. Because if he hears somebody's got a dip watch, well, he's wanted a dip watch. I, as a person, do not own a dip watch. And if you haven't seen the dip watch, it is ridiculous. It's a relic that resets the game back to 0, with the exception of if any of your armor, anything that's been exiled, like armor, when it's busted, it's exiled, so you can't use it again. So you restart the game, but now you've got 0 armor if you only had the 1, or if both of your armors were busted. So, but Samuel wants a dip watch. But, I would go through and I would wait to see if somebody had a dip watch and then died. And then be like, I'm going to take your dip watch. I'm going to borrow your dip watch. Or I would have it, or I'd have to have the piece in my sideboard. If I wanted to kind of move some stuff in. So, that way Samler's ever evolving. Again, he wouldn't use the dip watch because he doesn't want to reset, because he doesn't want to go back to being a normal person. He loves being dead, because when he dies, he just comes right back up. He's an undying messenger of just. But he's a very, very cool character, and I can't wait to play him on May 23rd, because that's going to be a lot of fun. And because this is a very story-driven tournament, where you get points for being in character, you get points for doing things that your character would do, and kind of holding on to things. I'm gonna be playing that up to the T, because I really love role playing. So I'm really loving this fact that we're starting these kind of tournaments, because that's exactly what Dark Legacy was made for. So tune into my next video, which is going to be how I start setting up the deck for Dark Legacy, because I have tons and tons and tons of cards that we've got to go through for it. But I'm going to kind of speed up the process a little bit so it doesn't take forever. So stay tuned to my next video. And again, I'm Redmagejr with Children of Titan. Make sure to go to www.childrenoftitan.com to check out all the news and information about the tournaments, to get live feeds and things like that from the events that are happening. And you can also get some more information. You can also learn where to purchase your copy of the Dark Legacy cards. All right? See you in the next video.